What is going on with this one? I thought this was about the guy from North Korea, but apparently this is not the guy from North Korea. Or the guy that was, like, trying to get into North Korea, I should say. Atozy put out a video about it, somebody who's facing federal charges. I genuinely thought this was gonna be about the guy. I have another video. We'll look up that video after this. But I thought this was the North Korea guy, but no, the North Korea guy had, like, orange hair.
This kick streamer was facing federal charges after live streaming himself vandalizing a million-year-old landmark, and now...
Oh! Definitely not the same guy. Entirely different.
He's bragging about it.
There you go.
How you doing, sir?
What's up?
How you doing? I'm Rich Bratz with Park Service.
Wait, so
About
he...
it.
There you go.
Oh. It's kind of like those freaking, like, those freaking nerds that are like, oh, I'm gonna go carve this 10 million, you know, I'm not, it's exaggerating, right? Like, I'm gonna go carve this 1,000-year-old freaking tree, and we'll put my initials, me and my girl there, oh yeah, it's gonna live forever. And it's just like, well, alright, sure, like, can you imagine somebody just comes up to you and just freaking starts stabbing you in the freaking chest? Oh, I'm gonna put my initials, ah! Like, listen, I'm not advocating for, like, oh, protect the trees or any of that stuff, right? I'm not like one of those freaking, like, but I'm just like, but like I start to think about it, like, logically, and like whatever plants and plants and trees and like other stuff, whatever like caterpillars start to eat them, they start sending out pain receptors, like they start flooding with calcium and like other freaking like chemical reactions. Because it doesn't want to be eaten. It doesn't want to be messed with. It doesn't want to be damaged. No, self-preservation. So it's just like, it's just the idea of people doing that, you know, like, oh, I'm gonna carve my heart onto this tree. Meanwhile, the tree, oh God, please stop.
How you doing, sir?
What's up?
How you doing? I'm Rich Bratz with...
I don't know why it reminded me of that, but yeah, no, and for what, to put kick.com, stupid. I'm just saying, like, whatever, whether you agree whether he deserves to get, like, in trouble federally or not, I just think the dude is stupid. Like, really, you do something, like, why you do something so stupid to get jail time?
Park Service. I'm here to talk to you about a few things today. Do you have your ID on you, sir?
Like,
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
What's
I like to live my life, avoiding jail time. Most days, like, anytime I go outside into the public space, anytime I do something or I'm about to do something stupid, I kind of just think to myself, like, is this gonna get me in trouble with the law? And I typically tend to stay away from that stuff. But if I think about it, I'm like, oh, if I jump down, no, you know, from like if I go into this area that's restricted and stuff, you know, like, is it gonna be worth it? Or you know, a better way to say it is, do I have enough money in my bank account right now to pay off that ticket? And if I don't got enough money to pay a ticket, to pay a fine, I'm gonna go home and play video games. Like, that's free.
Seems to be the problem first.
So meet Ton Con No, better known as Crazy Ton on Kick. According to his bio on his channel, he's an IRL streamer who travels around the world to explore the wonders of our beautiful planet in his trusty Toyota Prius. However, his name has now made some headlines for defacing one of America's most iconic natural landmarks, but nothing more than an unofficial platform promotion stunt for Kick.com. So on January 5th, the guy decided to stream his visit to Arizona's
So, bro, really, this, so it wasn't even affiliated with Kick. You know, that's the worst part, too, is that, listen, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Some of the Kick guys have done some stuff that's, like, pretty freaking, like, frankly, morally unjustifiable. And in some cases, pretty messed up. Not a whole lot, comparatively to, you know, the rest of the world. But they've done some things that I don't agree with. I have to admit, the amount of people that go out of their way basically to, like, flex Kick, and all it does is bring Kick, like, negative publicity. We got Johnny Somali running around, like, begging people to get let back on Kick. Before he was kicked off of Kick, he was bragging to the world about how he's, like, doing amazing on Kick. Ice Poseidon, same thing, bragging to the world about being on Kick. Immediately starts acting like an absolute moron in other countries. Vitaly, was literally making fun of everyone, saying that he would never get banned, and then gets freaking banned on Kick. But like, what my point is here is that all of these people that are like going out there, becoming nuisance streamers, becoming really bad names, all of them champion the name Kick, and it just makes Kick look so much what, like, the peripherals. You get what I'm saying? Like, the PR, it's a PR nightmare for Kick. Then this freaking idiot goes out there and vandalizes the place, putting Kick on it. Like, oh my, like, Eddie must be like, you freaking moron. Like, Eddie must be so pissed, dude.
Horseshoe Bend, part of the Grand Canyon. And if you're not familiar with Horseshoe Bend, it's an amazing natural formation that took 5 to 6 million years to create. The Colorado River carved it through sandstone for centuries, making it a nearly perfect horseshoe-shaped bend, which is why it's called that. It's one of the most photographed spots in the entire Grand Canyon and is on the bucket list for people all around the world. Now, while most people would be satisfied with taking pictures, enjoying the views, and maybe if you're a live streamer, just live streaming your experience there, that was...
Yeah, you know, what is it, What the frick was it? It's we bring... Damn it, what was it? We bring our enthusiasm. We only bring our enthusiasm. Oh, sorry. We only bring what we need, including enthusiasm, and we take only pictures and memories. That's what it was. Sorry, that's like one of those old, like... When you go to, like, a camp, or, like, a, you know, to, like, a forest, they're like, ooh, you bring only what you need, and you take only memories and pictures. You know, like, don't touch them. You're basically, like, you're not allowed to take the freaking frogs home, is basically what it was. Screw you! If I want to take a frog home, I get to take a frog home. You don't get to tell me what to do. Those are free frogs. You don't own the frogs.
Isn't enough for Crazy Ton here, because he wanted to live stream himself carving...
The frog jumped into my head. It wanted to go home with me.
There.
Can you get a small piece of flat rock? You could sit it on counter and van as a hot plate to sit hot things or coffee.
What's that? Somebody
Nope,
wrote
we
something.
can put kick.com real quick. If it works out, let's see.
So you see somebody... Yeah, a lot of people are putting really stupid... What does that say? Something... 2022... It's freaking... Alright, whatever.
Nope, but we could put...
Like, it's not a big deal. I'm not sitting here trying to, like... Oh, think of the rocks! You know, I'm not freaking, like, doing saying any of that. I'm just saying, it's a really stupid thing to do. And, like, no duh. You're gonna get a freaking fine, a ticket. Why do you think they have, like, the park rangers and that? Like, what this is common sense. Stop. Like, it takes 5 seconds. Like, they took you 5 seconds to act as stupid and got you probably a big ass fine.
Kick.com real quick. If it works out, let's see. CK. Ah, it works.
Kimchi clearly says, I guess it's better than drawing a peep.
There you go. Took a lot of work. There's a lot of work, chat.
He says this will be gone eventually, chat, not permanent.
Oh yeah, the rain will wash that away over time.
Yeah, so he carved that into some ancient sandstone.
You know what's worse? No. If anything, the rain is going to, like, make it a much bigger, deeper, like... It's going to basically use that as, like... Because it's always going to travel to the path of least resistance, which means that kick side is going to erode and if anything, get larger. I'm fairly certain.
I think it'll take a little bit longer than what he anticipated there for it to be gone. I mean, this whole situation.
Yeah, it's going to take a couple thousand years.
Why are you doing that?
That's if it even, like,
obviously,
gets rid of it.
This isn't close to being, like, as serious of a crime as what I often cover here on this channel. But, like, the punishment he was facing honestly surprised me, because I had no idea you can get in that kind of trouble for this kind of thing. So according to the official reports and court documents, they were very accurate by saying he carved a...
Well, yeah, isn't it literally, well, because it's a freaking, I would assume it's government freaking property. It's written Franco 2022. Oh, okay.
36-inch long and 6-inch tall.
You see what I'm saying, though? Like, it's gonna take like thousands of years worth of rain
broadcasting it to about 36
to erode all that.
And while he was live,
it's not like all of that was eroded by rain. By the way, it was eroded mainly by the Colorado River. The reason why that little mountain is so high up is because that doesn't get eroded as quickly.
Streaming, someone decided to call the park rangers on them. Because, you know, with so many of these live streamers, the viewers want to see them in hot water because that's what makes things interesting for them. It just seems like the whole meta and format on kick.com IRL streaming is more on live streams himself doing the dumbest things possible, and the viewers are like, all right, let's get this moron in trouble for doing these things live. And then everyone
Again, and it's literally that. That's what it's. Some people actually genuinely got mad at me for making fun of these clowns. Like, as if I'm a terrible person for calling out how stupid they are. Like, I'm sorry. If you don't want to get called a clown, stop wearing the makeup. It's not my fault you dressing up like Pennywise. Like, it's not on me, Ronald.
just kind of sits here and is like, all right, let's see how that pans out. And things certainly panned out as a National Park Service ranger then showed up to confront him the next day about the vandalism.
So as a lot of you guys know, I've been traveling a lot internationally recently for my videos. And the big problem I used to have was once I landed, I didn't have any data. So then I had to try to find some sort of telecom store to then go buy a SIM so then I could get
Sounds like a skill issue, bro. My service provider lets me go wherever the frick I want.
data in whatever country I was in.
Nah, I'm joking. Get one of those satellite phones. Don't you just gotta use one of those satellite phones?
And after a long flight, that was a miserable experience. I would rather watch
Like in
paint dry
Jurassic
on a
Park.
wall than do that again. Thankfully, there's a massive solution to that problem, which is Saley.
Yeah.
Because now that I'm traveling, all I had to do was download Saley beforehand, buy the plan, and then once I arrive, I can just switch my SIM because it's an
Oh, that's freaking sick! Like an eSIM service. That's amazing, actually.
eSIM, so I don't even have to go to any store to physically pick up anything. So if you're
That is an amazing, like, middleman service. If it works exactly the way he is, like, I'm imagining it to work here, theoretically, that's a badass service.
going abroad this summer or anytime soon for work, Saley might be the perfect solution for you.
So if you scan the QR code here,
Or click the link in the description down below and use code Atozy, you'll get 15% off. And with Saley, you immediately get access to over 190 different countries, which is basically all of them. And their data pack
It's very convenient, it would be very convenient for me, because even though in Mexico, a lot of companies that, specifically work here in LA, I'm not even gonna go out to the rest of the US, United States of America, but, specifically here in California, a lot of the carriers and services, that, like, work here will work with carriers and providers in Mexico to make that transition a lot easier, and it works phenomenally, don't get me wrong, but, and please correct me if this has been a recent change, it is a nightmare to have to, like, call, set it up, whether you call to T-Mobile or I've done it with T-Mobile, I've done it with, AT&T, and I've done it with, Verizon Wireless, like, going to Mexico, and, like, doing that switch over to one of their, like, partner companies. It's always been a nightmare. It's always been, like, you gotta call, if you call the Mexican company, they say that they set up the eSIM, you reset the phone, it didn't go through, so you call back to the freaking American company, and they tell you that it's all clear, and that you should just be able to do it automatically. And then you get, like, that conversation where they're like, no, just transfer a new SIM card in. And it's just like, there's no freaking SIM, everyone uses eSIMs now!
packages are priced so well that I know a lot of people when they
Anyway,
run out
whatever,
of
you
data
can
for
tell
the month, they
that's
end
a
up
pet
going to
peeve.
Saley and then buy a couple of gigabytes of data to hold them over until the refill for the next month on their regular plan. Then to give you peace of mind while you're traveling, they also have 24/7 support, and you can get a full refund if you're not happy with their service.
so if you're traveling this summer, feel free to
Yeah, everybody has 24-hour support. India exists. Come on, what are we talking
scan
about?
the QR code here and check out Saley to get a great deal on the eSIM so you can use your phone abroad like you would here at home. And use code Atozy for 15% off of that. But without further ado, let's continue the video. So, continuing the story, when confronted, this was his excuse.
What seems to be the problem first?
I'm here to talk to you about you defacing landscapes within the National Park Service. So yesterday, when you were at Horseshoe Bend, you were scratching kick.com into the rocks.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
That is a federal offense, okay? You're also throwing rocks. Review the video.
Yeah.
You can't go into a national park or land owned by the government and start freaking. I think it's also illegal. The next thing you know, people are gonna start being like, "What? If you're telling me if I go to a national park and throw trash on the floor, it's illegal?" But my taxes pay for the park. You're telling me I can't just go dump trash?
I didn't know you could. I didn't know you could do it. If I knew, I would even have done it.
Okay.
I saw other people thinking, I was like, oh, okay, I could do it.
Unfortunately, it is a common thing, but it is.
I didn't know.
Vandalism.
Yeah, I didn't even
Do
know.
you have your ID on you, sir?
The greatest defense. I saw other people did it too, so that's why so it should be okay for me to do it. Yeah, you know what the difference is? Those people didn't record themselves doing it. They did it off camera. So there wouldn't be evidence.
Do you think he's being serious here, or is he just playing stupid? Like, did he genuinely not know?
If he's playing stupid, it was stupid to even play stupid. If he's genuinely serious, I honestly would believe him. I believe him that he was being genuinely serious and he didn't know. And that doesn't really like excuse it or make you any less
think
stupid.
It's not that serious. I used to live in Arizona for a few
No,
years.
it's not that serious. But of course he's gonna get a ticket. Of course he's gonna get a ticket, and he should. Like, you don't do that. You think the freaking police there are gonna be like, oh, so this guy is just gonna come to the national park, record himself live, show to the world that it's cool to do this and nothing's gonna happen? No, of course they're gonna. Of course, especially if it becomes public, they're gonna freaking go and give you a ticket. They're gonna give you a
Grand Canyon
fine.
quite a bit, and even if you don't see the signs that are all over the place saying,
People really
hey,
surprised that
don't carve in the
consequences
rock,
exist
kind of a
nowadays. It's really
no-brainer.
wild.
You don't carve kick.com into rock formations that are millions of years old. I guess you could argue that many rock formations are millions of years old, but let's not do this in our national parks. I mean, just this guy doing
Exactly.
this.
Exactly. This is not some random freaking rock. This is not some random freaking, like, he's doing it at a national park. Everybody, since the, from elementary schools teach you this. These are government owned properties. It belongs to the government. You don't touch it. You don't mess with it.
On Kick, and especially engraving Kick.
You can't like show up there and just decide I live here now. You get what I'm saying? Like, what is wrong
However,
with
the
you?
vandalism at Horseshoe Bend is a problem because the entire area is protected by
You don't
federal
go there
archaeology.
and just be like, all right, well, it's just a rock. Let me start spray painting it with art. You get like you call
Archaeology
like
and
no,
historic
like it doesn't make sense. You can't just do whatever the hell you want.
That, as I mentioned earlier, the article.
If we could, don't get me wrong. I mean, well, hell, if I became the president of the United States of America, I would honestly like laser etch waifus onto the Grand Canyon. You get me? Like, don't get me wrong.
Also states there's signs all around the area explicitly telling travelers.
I'd put stars and stripes from My Hero Academia on the Mount Rushmore.
Not to carve into the sandstone because obviously defacing a natural feature in national parks is prohibited.
Yeah, and I'd give All Might a statue, right? Because he's cool, right? But at the end of the day, he's still technically Japan's #1 hero. I'm not about to. But Stars and Stripes, that's my girl, I gotta represent.
The affidavit, he used significant effort to deepen the inscription into the rock by going over the area multiple times with force and friction. Usually, the National Park Services takes violations like this very seriously. For example, in 2020, when 3 men were banned from Yellowstone National Park after being caught cooking chicken in one of the thermal hot springs. Back then, the officer said it was illegal to touch or throw objects into the hot springs or other hydrothermal features in the park.
That's interesting. Wow, I'm gonna be real with you. I have an uncle who recently went to the hot springs over in Salvador, and it was almost all perfect, but except the freaking as they were walking through, because it's by the way, these hot springs that they have are like, oh, people go there all the time. They like wrap up eggs in a basket, they throw it in, they throw meats, they throw all kinds of stuff. It's like nobody's going there to take a dip in there. You get me? It's incredibly hot. So hot, in fact, that when my uncle took a bad step, fell right in, it left him with like, I don't want to state it without being 100% sure, but it was either 1st or 2nd degree burns for the bottom half of his body. He was hospitalized for like a good couple months. Yeah. It's freaking bad. It was freaking bad. So I can see why they would want people to get the hell, stay away, honestly. Not even necessarily because, like, oh, don't touch the hot springs, leave them alone. No, it's like, no, y'all are, like, people are stupid. We can't trust anybody. And if somebody comes over here, falls in the freaking hot springs, then, they're gonna get mad, they're gonna blame they're gonna blame the freaking, who else are they gonna blame? They're gonna blame the state.
So
why don't you
they were
have
also sentenced
fences?
to 2 years in probation, and they were also strictly banned from the park and fined between $500 and $1,200. And earlier in April, 2 tourists were also found guilty of damaging 140
Yeah, and guess what? A lot of people probably not go into those pits to go cook chicken, are they?
million-year-old sandstone formations but just in a harsher way than Crazy Ton did most recently. This happened in Nevada's Lake Mead National Park, and they're both set
Wait,
to be
they also
damaging
got a
140-million-year-old sandstone formations, but just in a harsher way than Crazy Ton did most recently.
You know what? Even though, frankly, I feel like you could make an argument that just the same as these fools, even though, yes, it's a lot more malicious, there is malice involved in here, I could make the argument that rocks falling or pushing over rocks, you know, maybe a goat would have pushed over the rocks. Maybe, you know, bear would have freaking, like, something would have freaking, like, come along, knocked it over, a lightning strike. You know, like, what do you know? You get what I'm saying? Everything with a little bit of, like, okay, you know, humans are part of, you know, in a weird way, are part of nature, you know, we never know, yada, yada, yada. But at the same time, you know, I'm not gonna say no. I mean, shoot, you really want people to leave your freaking rocks alone, you freaking hit them with a fine, don't leave your damn rocks alone, you get me?
This happened in Nevada's Lake Mead National Park, and they're both set to be sentenced on July 8th. The whole point of designating these areas...
I feel like the guys knocking down rocks is generally speaking, when it comes to the overall grander scheme of things, is less, let's say, it's a much less visible or noticeable form of vandalism than actually freaking scratching the word kick into the ground, you get me?
As protected lands is to preserve them in their natural state, so everyone can enjoy these places without human intervention. That's why national parks often operate under a do not harm, do not leave a trace policy, so everyone can enjoy them for generations to come. But defacing national parks...
No, honestly, and it's one of the reasons why Theodore Roosevelt, to this day, is one of my absolute favorite presidents of all time in American history, United States of America history. Theodore Roosevelt, Teddy was absolutely one of the most, like, amazing, the freaking Moose Rider himself, the Bull Moose, was one of the most badass freaking presidents of all time, to this day. And if it wasn't for him, we would not have a lot of these freaking national parks. And so in the spirit of that, I honestly do completely agree with very harsh, very strict punishments. Or how about this? Not very harsh, very strict, very consistent punishments. I'm not saying you should go to jail, but we should consistently, those like $500,000 fines, slap them with those fines nonstop. Screw you. Like, even if it's more than that, honestly, because frankly, you're gonna destroy a national park. Like, screw you. You owe more taxes now, as far as I'm concerned. Like, why are you ruining it for the rest of us?
Considered a
now I
federal
go take
crime.
a picture there. It's gonna say kick.com, like all stupid on the side.
A year in prison and $100,000 as fines as a maximum penalty, which is just absolutely wild because that is way more than I ever expected for the punishment to be. However, when he appeared in court on April 25th, he was fined just $350.
You know where I really want to go? And I mean, like, really, really, really want to go right now, like, recently, like, I mean, like, if I can make this happen in the next couple, like, month or two, I take a couple months, I want to go to the Redwood Forests. During, like, it would be terrifying, honestly. I want to go to the Redwood Forests during the time of, like, mists and fogs, so I can sort of see... I want to take pictures of those, like, prehistoric, almost Jurassic Park-esque sites of, like, trees so damn tall that they go above the clouds. Oh, that's so cool.
So, in perspective,
Redwood
that's
Forests are
less than
insane
parking
looking,
in
dude.
a
They look
handicapped
prehistoric.
spot in any large
They look
city
like
in the
like
US.
Jurassic Park.
Rock drunk on
And there's some phenomenal... I've only ever been there, like, once for the school field trip, I think. And it was in passing. Like, we stopped by there on the way somewhere else. And... I'm trying to think, I really haven't been there besides, like, just in passing. Like, not nowhere even really near. I didn't get to freaking touch it. I just saw it in a distance, like, whoa! And then, that was about it.
Wrong at all. They went right.
Ooh, I'm also trying to go to that garden museum.
$350
The
fine?
So I
Arboretum,
guess
the
he was
Arboretum, that
pretty
thing
much
looks
fined
cool.
exactly what I thought he would be.
With the
that
peacocks?
risk, though, is crazy. But he then continues the stereotype that so many of these kick IRL streamers are just absolute scumbags and continues to
You know, I feel like, yeah, the more I think about it, like, if I go over there to the Redwood Forest and I'm like, oh, look at all the cool, and then I just see a giant freaking heart. A giant freaking heart with 2 initials on these giant freaking prehistoric dinosaur trees. It is kind of like, ah, screw that douchebag. Like, you know,
bragging about how much he profited off of this whole incident.
I can't
Sponsors
pretend
reached out
to,
me to
like,
get me a van. So that $350 that the haters did for me actually got me over $30,000 to $50,000. Who the went wrong? They went right.
I mean, I don't think anybody cares if you made money or not. Like, congratulations if you did. It's more like, you know, but I guarantee you one thing, you know, you're not gonna go do it again, are you? Like, you can talk on the smack you want, but you're not gonna go do it again, are you? And that's the point. They're trying to prevent people from doing that stupidity.
You dumb mother. It went right. It didn't go left. It went right. Even the judge was like, what the is this? The judge in there was like, dude, she was like looking at me like, bro, I'm sorry you're going through this. Like, she even did look like, bro, I know there's other carvings on there, but you just were live streaming it, so we have to make you pay a fine. But she even did look like, I know there's tons of carvings on there.
Yeah, I mean, while the dude is incredibly tone deaf, he claims it all worked.
I mean, he's saying that as if it's a flex. The judge basically said, hey, I know that a lot of people do this. I know that it happens all the time. You're the only idiot who recorded it and put it up on the internet. Like, the judge is basically calling you a moron. How are you not understanding that?
Worked out in his
How does he
favor.
not get that?
The risk of $100,000 as a fine, though, doesn't really seem worth it to me, but because, I mean, hey, you are simply gambling with what judge you get. But most likely, just like me, he probably had no idea of the potential fines and the prison time that he could have landed into by doing all this. I mean, the bar has just been set so low for
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's not really worth it, is it?
all these IRL streamers, and it just feels like carving some text into the Grand Canyon. That's probably like the lightest thing I've covered an IRL streamer do. Still,
Absolutely.
every time something like this happens, it doesn't really matter the scale, it just only reinforces the negative stereotypes about these content creators. But because of this guy, for years to come, Horseshoe Bend visitors will see Kick.com carved into the rock, which is why I guess we just can't have nice things anymore. But that was the story of how a Kick streamer managed to get federal charges from a dumb decision during a live stream. But if you're traveling this summer, again, feel free to check out Saley for a great deal on an eSIM so you can use your phone abroad just like you would at home. And use code Atozy for 15% off of that. But other than that, feel free to subscribe if you're new here, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
I wonder if Kick, like, Eddie actually genuinely, like, is, like, happy that that's a thing. Like, aside from, like, the morality of it and all that BS, you think he's just, like, happy that, like, or you think he is happy that, like, Kick is, like, now lives on in that horseshoe canyon? Or do you think he thinks it's just as annoying? That's an interesting one. Please be sure to go drop Atozy a like, a follow, a subscription, all that good stuff, monos. Ayoo, monodachis! Thank you so much for watching this video. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can also find links to the videos that we reacted to today down in the description below, along with my Oshi marks. I'll see you in the next video, monos. Goodbye, and thank you so much for swinging by. Sadu!